How to Become the Boss, Part 5. Even if they lose their position, they will still be liable for the crimes they've committed while in office. If they defy their illegal co-conspirators, then they will find themselves in a honey trap, a tipped-off drug bust, a DUI charge, a bookies enforcer smackdown, a shallow grave, or sleeping with the fishes. The Kennedy clan is reputed to have been the grand prize winner of such an arrangement with Chicago mobster Sam Giancana, after he helped JFK get elected. You must be careful to avoid taking bribes from influential elements, if you want to stay on the ethical side of the game. It is a rare thing to find a politician who will not change their mind about an issue to please a large contributor. Many laws and regulations are complete nonsense or injected with loopholes just to assist a powerful entity in paying less taxes or gaining a professional advantage. To be a good politician, you have to be able to hide your true feelings about issues that you disagree with. You have to be a good liar. If the tide is going with the pro-choice movement, then it is better for you to go with it too. If the tide is going with the right to gay marriages movement, then it is best for you to be for the gay marriage right as well. Once you're elected, your truth stands. Most people want to believe in a higher authority and a promise of a better life after death. To live better after you have died does seem like an inherent contradiction, but beliefs are more powerful than logic. You may see the existence of gods as a truth or a falsehood, but your best bet is to project the image that the majority of the people want to see. Good politics is a good lie. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, because it belongs to everybody to see you, to few to come in touch with you. Everyone sees what you appear to be, few really know what you are, and those few dare not oppose themselves to the opinion of the many. Machiavelli. Jehovah's Witnesses, Hare Krishnas, polygamist Latter-day Saints and Mormons may be theists, but they are all cults. So their members will never become elected president of the U.S. Americans don't trust cults. To have faith in humanity only is better than faith in a weird belief. What is commonly believed is easily useful. Lucius Seneca said it best. Religion is regarded by the common people as true, by the wise as false, and by the rulers as useful. As a boss who is elected to political power, your job appears to be to maintain the society and to keep the people in the society civil by passing bills through Congress and turning them into laws. But your real job is to keep your job by making more people vote for you than the other person vying for the available position. Yes, law and order is necessary in a human society. We need it to live harmoniously with our fellow humans and animals. Whether we need a government to achieve this feat has still not been proven. Just like the existence of gods has still not been proven. Nevertheless, most people still believe in gods and that we need government. So it conveys a powerful influence over them, because beliefs are more powerful than logic. Thus, those who hold positions of power in government are very influential over the ignorant and educated masses. So if you can make people believe that yes, they can accept change that you want them to believe in, then you will succeed as a political boss. President Barack Obama convinced a country that had enslaved people of African descent since before its inception in 1776 up until 1863, when President Lincoln declared their emancipation, that a person of African descent could be the President of the United States in 2008. If you convince people that we have nothing to fear but fear itself when facing a great economic depression, severe unemployment and hunger, then you will have them eating out of your hands. President Franklin D. Roosevelt made people believe in his New Deal of social programs in a great deal of things in the depressed 1930s. If you can make them think that it is not for them to ask what their government can do for them, but what they can do for their government, then you will make people believe that you are a great leader. President John F. Kennedy made people believe that we could put a man on the moon in his speech in 1961. If you fail to make people believe in you, then you will be unemployed. To become the boss by ability. The most profitable way that a person becomes the boss is by ability. A self-made boss is the most courageous and valorous of the three types. It requires you to be able to rise from any position to the top, colloquially known as rags to riches. However, there is no need to be a poverty-stricken homeless person to reach this feat. All that is needed is a strong desire and a plan of action. In wealth, I call this plan of action your plan for success. Concerning the traits that are needed in the character of a person who wishes to become the prince by ability, Machiavelli says the following. A wise man ought always to follow the paths beaten by great men, and to imitate those who have been supreme, so that if his ability does not equal theirs, at least it will savor of it. Let him act like the clever archers who, designing to hit the mark which yet appears too far distant, and knowing the limits to which the strength of their bow attains, take aim much higher than the mark, not to reach by their strength or arrow to so great a height, but to be able with the aid of so high an aim to hit the mark they wish to reach. He was telling you to aim high, shoot for the stars, and to have aspirations. To become the boss, you should have an example of success that you wish to achieve. You will most likely not achieve parity with your image of aspiration. But everyone needs something to aspire to be able to reach greatness themselves. However, you should never seek to copy the exact actions of anyone else, because things done in the past will most likely be outdated and ineffective for your time period. The method may have lost some of its surprise element or became illegal in some way. Always stay in the present tense when devising your methods and consult attorneys and accountants about what is proper. Follow the time-tested strategies of success. More wealthy bosses in America made their own fortune without receiving an inheritance. And though to become the boss by ability is the greatest way to become the boss, it is not usually an easy task. It can be much harder than election, and it is definitely 1,000 times harder than to simply be born in, which is something you have no control over. The Prince, by Machiavelli, states this: "Those who by valorous ways become princes, acquire a principality with difficulty, but they keep it with ease. The difficulties they have in acquiring it arise in part from the new rules and methods which they are forced to introduce to establish their government and its security. And it ought to be remembered that there is nothing more difficult to take in hand, more perilous to conduct, or more uncertain in its success, than to take the lead in the introduction of a new order of things." In my first book, Wealth Building Strategies of the Super Rich, How to Start a Family Dynasty, I explain that it requires many attributes to reach success. You have to formulate a clearly detailed plan, you need to have a positive life philosophy, and you've got to be free to think about different ways that may be unconventional to achieve your dreams. You also need to have perseverance to see the mission through to the end, and you need the power to overcome adversity. Continue to the next selection. How to Become the Boss, Part 6.